Hey guys, just want to take a moment to film a quick little point that if you're perturbed and bewildered at how normal yet bizarre the world is, then you're not wrong too. And if you're looking around you and seeing nothing but normal motions and people that are seemingly completely out of the context of what you're clued into, just remember some of them really aren't. They're just turned on and off, and they're programmed to not be able to handle this and to not be able to deal with the reality of what life truly is and what you may have stumbled across by thinking and noticing and feeling things that they just never will be able to be real or think about or to talk about. It's created a simultaneous need to be in two different frame of minds for highly intelligent people who never stop feeling what this is and are forever affected by it to the point where they almost can't be here in real reality, but they're forced to be. It's a very strange cognitive dissonance that nobody can really be self-aware about that I've ever met. I'm sure there are others out there that get what that means, and we're definitely among the few. It's not a widespread enough thing for people to have the ability to forward think and actually have the autonomy to do anything productive. I guess there's always going to be a sense of fear in the world about being real, about what things actually are, and calling a spade a spade. At this point, the type of spade that it would be called would be so preposterous and ridiculous seeming that it almost couldn't be real, and almost something that tragically bad and terribly awkward almost can't come out of a normal human being's mouth, which is a crazy thing to consider. But the world is so ratchet, things are so backwards and disjointed but yet held together simply because of a lack of observation. If we were to point out the actual truth of anything, it would be so astoundingly bad that it would just never sit well, and it would forever change people in a weird way. But at the same time, it's going to get our society and the world is going to get whittled away so gradually that people are just not going to notice when things get really, really devastatingly bad. I think we'll start getting clues and hints that, yeah, this isn't good and we're not in Kansas anymore, but it's never going to be a widespread enough phenomenon with the ability for us to communicate effectively to ever safeguard against it. I think we're just going to see things slide down. Things are going to get way more socialist and dystopian, and it's going to be a very bad world for us to inhabit that never got explained to us, and they never allowed us to connect the dots or make any sense of it preemptively. There's been an artificial hold, and certainly been a high degree of voodoo on this planet Earth. That's the only way to put it. It's an unnatural type of interference that can only be described as otherworldly and quite evil, and there needs to be more efforts made to combat against it and acknowledge it, but that simply won't happen until there's less of a totalitarian structure guiding things, because that's truly what's happening in this world. Like I've mentioned many times, this has delved into becoming a prison planet where many normal civil human liberties are stripped away in ways that are imperceptible and hard to even fathom, but are quite real, and it's a real threat to our way of life. Things are never going to be easy to explain without common denominators that they just don't want us to ever point to. It's going to be a hard, difficult road ahead for people who already have a hard time stating how they feel and being real and not lying and gaslighting themselves into a new problem. This is going to be a whole theme in the world that we're going to have to point to. Simply put, things have changed. People have lost their way. They're not willing to take accountability. They're scared of their past, and they're scared of the future, but it's your need to cover your past which is harming everybody's future. So those it concerns, this is a real epidemic of evil, narcissistic, sociopathic, and self-indulgent behavior in this world. It's become like heaven on earth for sick people to get away with their evil, devious deeds that they can't stop. Once you've hit a certain low, then you're either going to stay at that low or you're going to keep going down. And that's what I've continued to notice, is that people live in fear of the unknown and the fear of the truth. And these comfortable lives are not going to be comfortable forever. They're going to be very uncomfortable lives. So just keep in mind, we're sliding down, and eventually we're just going to be at the bottom, and we never talked about the slide down. So keep that in mind.